Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Free American Hour. I'm your host, Clay Douglas. My guest will be David Kaas today. And if you go to my website, freeamerican.com, you can see his book. You can buy his book if you click on the book. And it's called Farm Physics. Now, it's a strange title, but we're going to explain to you exactly what he means about that. But before we do that, I just want to tell you, I want to bring you up to date a little bit. I've kind of been retired for the last 6 years. Call it convalescence, call it whatever you want. I've been, hit quite a bit. Hit pretty hard. Accident, 2004, rolled a Road King motor. You ever seen a Road King motorcycle roll over 3 times? Smashed my head against the curb. Woke up 3 months later, and I'd lost everything. But I never stopped. I stopped my radio show. Hard to do a radio show when you're unconscious. I stopped my magazine. Hard to publish a magazine when you're unconscious. Drugged, by the way. And I didn't stop. I kept doing my radio show. I kept writing. And I've got books for sale up on the website. I've just gotten a new network. We got on a new network, so we're spreading out around the country. And I've been demonized probably more than anybody except Lucifer himself, which, by the way, is the title of my next book. And I've been called a right-wing extremist. I've been called anti-government. But David Kaas, isn't that what they called our founding fathers?
Exactly. Well, they did from the other side of the ocean, I think.
Well, they were anti-government. I mean, come on. The sun never sets on the English Empire. And what do you colonists? You know, what gripe you got against your government? You know, we're the Queen and the King. You know, that's your Lord and Master, man. You know, if you're talking bad about them, you must be a right-wing extremist.
Well, I never believed in supporting any person, place, or thing unless it had my best interest in mind.
Well, they certainly don't have our. You know, now you probably heard my show with Anthony Hilder last night. We were talking about chemtrails last night. Go up on YouTube, see it on YouTube. Go up on freeamerican.com, listen to the show. Incredible show. 2 hours. Now we're doing 2 hours in the evening, and you're going to be with me for another 2 hours. So we got plenty of time. We got a lot to cover here and a lot to talk about.
Oh yeah.
And folks, you know, Clay's irate. Clay. He smokes marijuana. You know that stuff will make you crazy, won't it?
That won't make you crazy as all the pharmaceutical drugs you'll take. They'll drive you insane and make you go kill somebody. Smoking a little marijuana just relaxes you. And I'll tell you, at age 55, it's the only thing that I have found that works anymore on relaxing me and putting me to sleep at night. It's the only thing.
Well, it's actually doing more than that, David. I have THC Ministries of Arizona, and it is a direct connection with the deity. I mean, this is one of the oldest plants on earth. It's one of the most cultivated plants on earth. It's the plant of renown spoken of in the Bible, in my opinion. So, and it was our number one cash crop for 100 years. Doesn't matter whether you smoke it or not. Now, you know, you're not going to see any difference in me if I take a hit off a joint. Then, if I just walked out of a casket for 3 months.
Well,
As a matter of fact, when I got out of the hospital, they told my family, make sure get long-term care, put him in a nursing home, do this, do that, get guardianship. He may never be right again, and make sure he takes these pills. I took one of them, and I said, "Are you people crazy? Didn't anybody tell you that I almost killed the first guy that gave me a Valium?" I don't like that crap. I don't like pharmaceuticals. And I said, the only thing I need is a joint and a Harley. And I walked out of the hospital, and that's all I've done in 6 years.
Yep, I know exactly what you mean. Well, this is just the evolutionary progress that we all read about and heard about in high school years and years ago. But, the rest kids didn't even pay any attention to it when the teacher was talking about it. My ears perked up and I listened, but I've been watching the papers and watching the area around me ever since, and it's here now. They're doing it to us. They're going to take over, and in just a few short years, we're not going to have the United States of America. We're not going to have even the thought of freedoms. We're not going to have a vote anymore. We're not going to have nothing. And it's really amazing to see all these people around us here in the United States just kind of walk around aimlessly and talking about the basketball game or the football games or whatever kind of sports there are. It's like, where are we, Clayton?
As I was saying, the show I did last night with my old friend Anthony Hilder is we talked about the chemtrails. I came out with my video, Chemtrails, almost 10 years ago, over 10 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And to date, G. Edward Griffin, another friend of mine, has just come out with his video on that. But I don't think you can get much more advanced or much more information now than we could than I put in mine 10 years ago, because the government won't investigate it. The government won't step up. All they'd have to do is send up an F-15, force one of those planes down, land it in the middle of DFW, circle it with scientists, circle it with reporters, circle it with the American people, and find out what's in it. Find out what they're spraying on us. We know they're spraying aluminum. We know they're spraying barium. We know that the snow on top of Mount Shasta has been polluted with aluminum. They're putting aluminum in our water, and if that stuff is being sprayed out, well, it's falling in the water too, so they're increasing your dosage of fluoride tremendously every time they spray over America. It's going in your plants. We don't know what it is. And the government won't investigate it, won't tell us. So we got a problem with the government. Now wait a minute. We're filming this, so this is on YouTube, and I've just charged my coffee. Dr. D-Charge. I have been sitting here. I have 3 fingers on one hand, touching my thumb, my little finger's sticking up in the air, and I could actually do it the other way, and I could probably use any 3 fingers I wanted. But I'm trying to be polite here.
Hey, it's too easy. It's too friggin' easy.
And I got my hand on the other side, my palm's open, and I got it on the other side. And in the time that we've been talking here, I have reversed the spin on my coffee in my Harley Davidson cup.
Molecular.
And you go, oh, come on, yeah, you can't, what, there ain't nothing happening there, you're just holding your hand around a cup there, that's all, no, that don't work. Well, I'll tell you what, folks, pour a Coca-Cola into a glass and do the same thing to that Coca-Cola and see what happens.
That's right, for 1 minute, it'll taste different. I guarantee it. Well, all this is just like
Wait a minute. No, wait a minute. Let's finish it now. I'm filming this. For YouTube. So
Sure.
tell me exactly what I just did to this coffee in this cup here.
Okay.
Tell my audience here.
Understand that the human H2O molecule is surrounded by 10 electrons whose orbits are in a 180-degree half circle to the south. That's our own. And they make the 360-degree sweep. But all fluids that we consume, like your coffee there, every day, are first forced through metal piping, which causes their electrons to spin orbit to the north, like the insects, bats, and cats' molecular rotation, the opposite of our own. Now, to drink this incorrectly influenced fluid on the molecular level means that you are negating your own 7-year cellular rebuild, thus causing your early demise. But to molecularly south spin all your fluids for just 13 seconds before drinking means that you are now giving your system exactly what it needs to do this cellular replacement correctly over time. In a while, you'll begin to eat less, sleep less, and look much younger. You'll also have the ability to remain in the physical form for up to 1,000 years this time around in a healthy and productive physical form. Now, I know most of your audience hasn't heard about this yet, but this is breaking news, and I realize that there's a lot of news coming down the pike at the moment about all these terrible happenings around the world. But this is actually the best news everyone could hear at the moment, because what we need to do is start self-spinning all of our fluids, and in just a little while, we're going to come out of this cloud of dust and dirt that we're all existing in, and we'll actually begin to see the light again. And that's coming up even sooner than anyone may think.
Yeah, repeat that for me. I got distracted there for a second. Repeat that, what you just last said.
Well, I said if we all start to self-spin our fluids, just like you just did, we'll all eventually come out of this cloud of dust and dirt, which is the problems we're all experiencing. The few people that are doing this to us are actually scared at the moment. They're scared because they know there's a few beings on the planet, like you and me, Clay, that know exactly what's going on. We know exactly what they're doing to everybody, and we're calling them out right at the moment. And they're getting worried. They're getting real scared because they realize that there's more of us popping up every day. You guessed some of them have been very intelligent individuals that have hit the nails right on the head. So that's what scared them. But I am strongly recommending to every individual person out there to begin to self-spin your fluids for just 13 seconds before you drink it, because in 90 days you'll know just what I'm talking about is true. Now, I have in the last 5-6 years shared this information with several different top TV personalities, trying to get this information out to the general public. I attempted to do it through people such as Oprah Winfrey, Larry King, who just retired, Willie Nelson, Larry Flint, Hugh Hefner, publishers of 2 big magazines. I delivered a book personally to Hugh Hefner's office. I even sent William Shatner a copy. Al Gore has been doing it for 5 years now. His hair's turning brown. You can see his face losing weight. Ellen DeGeneres, Montel Williams, Stevie Wonder. I even put a DVD in his stage manager's hand about 4 years ago. He's been doing it and lost all kinds of weight.
Your DVD, and by the way, if you're listening to this show, you're from the Free American. You click below David's name, and you can see one of his DVDs. Now one of your YouTube films. You've got. I just did a search on your name and YouTube, and I came up with a bunch of my shows with you, and your own videos too. So it's
right.
It's pretty impressive, and it's hard for me. It's hard for me to judge, David. I mean, I have I don't drink fluoride. I don't do pharmaceuticals. And I don't get flu shots.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm never sick. So it's hard for me to judge, you know. I mean, you know, I got a little bottle here of colloidal minerals. I don't take vitamins, but I have a biochemist that makes my vitamins for me.
Mm-hmm.
I have Miracle 2, and I believe that the Clayton Teddington, who I knew personally, Clayton Teddington said he was laying in bed, and he had just prayed and wanted to know what he could do. And he woke up and there was a formula in lights written on his wall. He and his wife, he woke his wife up and he says, "Can you see that?" She said, "No, go back to sleep." He said, "No, this is important. You got to write this down. You got to write this down." And he gave her, he read from the lighted formula on the wall. He gave it to her. She wrote it down. The next day, they mixed it up and found out they had made soap.
Uh-huh.
And one of the ingredients in that soap is a clear liquid. It's electrically charged somehow, water, or maybe it's just prayed over. Now this is you know, this was a really, you know, life-changing experience for Clayton Teddington.
Mm-hmm.
And this liquid neutralizer, he called it neutralizer. It would kill acidity. It made the body more alkaline, and people were throwing away their medications after taking a few sips of neutralizer.
Uh-huh.
Did he do something to this? I mean, is this something? Where did you get this? I mean, did this whole concept just pop into your mind, and you've been testing it for years and years and years?
Well, 19 years ago, when it first came to me, it didn't actually come through my own deductive reasoning. I've been hearing voices for 25 years. The voice is that of our creators, and he told me all about this 19 years ago, but he said, you know, he walked me through it for a few years and pointed things out to me and explained things to me so I'd get it real plain and easy, and then I started doing it, and I couldn't believe the results the first couple of years. And then I put out the first video, and then the second video, and then did the book, and then the third video out, and then I met you, and seems like the ball's starting to roll now, Clayton. The ball is definitely starting to roll. But the most interesting thing was Dr. Phil, who's on television at the moment. He sent me an email via the YouTube just a few months ago and asked me when his hair is going to start coming back in, because he's been doing it for several months or a year now at least, and he's losing weight, and he's wondering when that cue ball is going to start sprouting a few new hairs. So there are a lot of people out there, a lot of big name people that I've contacted and gotten through to. Even George Lucas, I sent him a book twice, and he sent it back to me saying he didn't want it. But I bet he read it first. But there's a lot of people. And this breakthrough discovery will change this world forever in a very short time through nothing more than just listening for a few minutes and then doing following these easy-to-do instructions. Every color of human from every place under the sun can now learn this new technique easily in just a few moments. And the time will come very soon when this worldwide communication will no longer be possible for a short time. And spreading of this new understanding is now imperative to all who wish to continue with their human existences.
That's right. Grab all of the information, knowledge you can, and get ready, folks, because you know, the whole go to my Liberty Village concept. If you can grow your own food And I want to talk with you about that because I think you agree with me. If we set up one block, and put food in the backyard, put solar and wind on the roofs, the villages that block would become a village, and the 10 families would form the oldest form of government that we have, a ton. You would be producing your own energy. You don't need the wires. You don't need the gasoline. You don't need the trucks. You can sit in your garage or your office and work just like we're doing right now. And you don't need the banksters and the elite and the Illuminati, the Zionists, for nothing.
Right.
For nothing.
You don't need gold. You don't need silver. You don't need any of that junk. All you need is a plate of food and some clean water to drink, and you're going to be up and running soon.
And if you've got, wait a minute, let me stop you right there. If you've got, I've got gold. I've got a sponsor on my show now. It's KB Gold. You go to my website, freeamerican.com, click on the gold bars there, and you can watch films, and it'll tell you about that. What that is, David, is a way to take the Federal Reserve notes that you've got right now that going down daily, exchange it for gold in a vault in Switzerland, and you want the gold, they'll mail it to you. They'll send it to you. and it comes in with a little hologram on it. It's like a half a gram embedded in a plastic card with a hologram. And that's the way to stop doing business with the banksters. If you put the solar and wind up in your neighborhood, turn your neighborhood into a nuclear power plant, because you can, with the sun and the wind, just what God gave you, folks, you can run your whole neighborhood and sell it back to the electric companies for the people that aren't quite as industrious.
Well, nobody around nowadays was in existence in 1910, but if anybody could remember back that far, people never had a lot of money back then. Some people never owed anybody. They were working every day just to live and just to eat, and it wasn't all that fun. And nobody had doctors around, and nobody had medical insurance and licenses for their cars, because there weren't any cars around back then. People had to just survive, and that's what they've been doing for all of time, and that's what we're going to have to get ready for a short time ourselves.
Okay, You have an announcement to make, and I'm going to let you do it on my show. And since I have met you personally, since I've been, since I David, I have been here in Tucson for 2 years. I haven't been into anybody's house. I haven't been invited into anybody's house. And I drove 500 miles, to visit you, to see you, get a little bit of work done too. And I think I don't think things happen by accident. I think we have been pulled together and put together. You're going to you know that I've had experience. I worked with Charles Collins when he was talking about buying back the Federal Reserve when he was running for president.
Right.
1994, 96. You're going to run for president.
That's right. I certainly am, on an independent ticket this time.
Well, the Republicans and Democrats are two wings of the same bird. The bird's a global vulture. It ain't an eagle.
That's right. That's right. Well, I'd like to submit to you then, now, and your listening audience, my platform for this coming year of 2012 as an independent candidate in this next presidential race. And my plans will be one of great change in view of the coming planetary flip schedule for September of 2015.
Many changes now need to occur in order that this human race is able to survive the coming 7-year drought due to follow this readjustment. So the lean years will be just ahead of us, so now is the time to begin to plan. Beans, rice, and corn now need to be grown and stored for the fallow season just ahead. All drug offenders need to be released from jails and prisons with their full rights restored. All convicted rapists, murderers, and child molesters will humanely be put to sleep. Our laws will remain intact, but the punishments will now fit the crimes. The innocent will no longer be the victims in many criminal situations experienced. The right to life will be paramount from now on. Hemp shall once again be legalized and grown immediately, even in the middle of our freeways and interstates, then to be put into production of many everyday necessities that we all need and use. Our engines.
Let me interrupt you for just a moment.
Sure.
My father-in-law, ex-father-in-law, was Secretary of Agriculture of California. He said if we planted hemp on the sides of those mountains, we wouldn't have the erosion, we wouldn't have the landslides, we wouldn't have the fire danger.
Exactly. Well, I also see a comment on the chat board that says if the poles flip, no one would survive. Oh, I think a lot of people are going to survive. I think just the people in the big cities on the coast are going to be completely wiped out.
The pole shift could only, and it's not a. We're talking about, it could be a minor variation, it could be a major variation.
Exactly. It could be catastrophic.
But mankind has survived for a hell of a lot longer than 10,000 years.
Oh, yeah.
We've been on this planet for probably millions.
Right.
And off the planet as well. You know, we're
we're going to survive.
Yes, we will survive.
Maybe not all of us, but we will. Well, also, our engines, all of our automobile engines and truck engines, they can be run on hydrogen. It's been proven. It could be obtained from the very water that you drink, as well as a complete overhauling of our educational system to date. Now, many of these changes have been discussed around our dinner tables for a long, long time. How would you like to actually see what your tax dollars have been developing and now using in secret? If I'm elected, this information will be released and you will be entitled to see it. This will be presented in a complete form, and there will be nothing then held in secret from you as a citizen of this country ever again. A big part of this current problem is now the currency we all use. Value and worth is now a subject that everyone can relate to. My plans, if elected, is to reprint our dollar bill on a hemp-grade paper, as well as the redistribution of the currency back to the common man and woman by depositing of this money into every citizen's bank account in this country. An even start will be declared for all citizens involved. All peoples and all sexes will be fairly treated from this day forth if this country wishes to survive. No more shall there be a distinction between females and males. There will also be some very basic changes which will benefit the country for the rest of time.
Now, wait a minute. I gotta interrupt you for just a second here.
Sure, anytime.
You know, I'm kind of for the differences between the males and the females.
Yeah, there is a difference. But I'm saying in the voting and the decision making, the rights will all be the same. The responsibilities will be different. Women are capable of doing many things that men are not, and men are capable of a few things that women are not. But by working together and recognizing each other as, you know, the right hand has to recognize the left hand in order to get anything done. That's what we have to do as a race here. We have to stop this aggravated assault on our own opposite sex.